Welcome to You Are Not Alone. This is a safe place to explore all things spiritual and beyond. I am spiritual medium Erica Gabriel. Hello, friends. Welcome back to You Are Not Alone. So happy to be with you today. How's everybody doing? I'm recording this on a Monday. It's Monday, and it's so funny. Normally Mondays, I'm like, I got the Monday blues. I got them bad. I got them real bad. But this Monday, I was so energized. I had so much energy. Just did a lot of readings, doing some lives on Instagram. And now I get to record this podcast. I'm so happy. And I'm so happy you're choosing to be here and to tune in and to hang out with me today. So today's topic, let's get into this unsavory spiritual topic. This topic is about breaking up, ripping away toxic ties, and letting people go, right? Which can be very unsavory. But you know, what's so crazy about all of these spiritual topics that we tap into and that we talk about? It all kind of goes back to personal power, if you really think about it. Right? Because the idea is continuing to tap into your own life force, your own energy, your own ability to manifest, your own ability to be a co-creator with God in your life. Like everything kind of leads back to taking control of your own life in a loving, harmonious way, basically. Like we could just take all these podcasts, put them in mix them in a pot, and then put a little tap on it and just pour it out into a cup and drink it. And what we're drinking is like self-love, self-empowerment, and knowing you're connected to God. End of story. You know what I mean? Well, clearly, I think that's very funny, and I hope you guys are laughing as well. But it's so interesting how dynamic spirituality is and how there's so many different things and topics and ways to look at things, and that, as I said, you can take things and just boil them all down in this way to realize how connected you are to God and how creative you are in your own life, how you're creating your reality, creating your path, creating your successes, creating all these things, you know. Something I talked about a little bit this week on Instagram, if you're on there, guys, at Spiritual Medium Erica, I do a bunch of lives on there, but something I talked about, and I've also talked about on here as well, is my way of visualizing this that I call copyrighted. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't copyright it, but don't steal it because it's mine and Spirit told it to me. So it's called God Spark. And my guides gave me those words exactly. God spark. The spark within you is the spark within me, which is in all people, right? It is this spark, this seed of the divine, of God. It's within us. And it connects us all because we are all one. And it also is this seed that sprouts a direct line to the divine, to God, to Spirit. So going within yourself and quieting the mind connects you directly to God and Spirit, because the seed, the peace, the little spark, as I call it, of God is within each and every one of us. And, you know, that is basically what everything's boiled down to. You're connected to God. Your abilities are just beyond and so powerful. You're co-creating with God. So take that God spark and just put that in your pipe and smoke it. No, I'm just kidding. But you know, that's really what it boils down to. And that's kind of, when I was thinking about this episode, I realized I had never really given you guys this really powerful tool to help cut toxic ties to a person, place, or thing, right? So it could even be something in the past or even your past self. There is a way to cut toxic connections. And, you know, when you look at that, and that's why I'm saying everything boils down to it, is because when you look at that, it's really, once again, going within yourself, connecting with Spirit, God, your own inner voice, and really making a decision and making a choice to let something be cut and let something really set something free. So sometimes I'll do readings and I think I've said this on here before, I'll like get with someone and, you know, we'll do all the meditation and kind of start to connect in with a reading. And their energy will tell me that they just got divorced. Let's use that as an example. I'm like, oh, wow, they just got divorced. And I'll be like, okay, so you just got divorced. And they're like, no. And I'm like, no, but you just got divorced. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, but you did. And they're like, I mean, I got divorced 10 years ago. And I'm like, oh, wow, right? No judgment, but wow, right? It means that they're still living in a way that's like a result from their divorce. So that so much so that in their energy, it feels like they just got a divorce like a month ago, not 10 years ago. We can completely live an entire lifetime in effect of someone or something else that we are still completely connected to. And that is a toxic tie to something. Is this making sense? Shit, I wish I was with you who's listening, so you could tell me yes or no, and then I need to go back over it. But the idea is that there are all of these ways that we can be toxically connected to people or places or things or past selves that is really affecting our lives. I've also, done a lot of readings where, someone was trying to move on and trying to live their life, but they were so connected to who they used to be. Say they were into, they were drug addict or they were alcoholic or they did, things that dishonored themselves or they were maybe not a kind person or maybe all these ways, different things. And they've changed, but they are so toxically, is toxically a word? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say toxically is a word. And if it isn't, I am so sorry, but just go with me. Go with me, people. They are still in a toxic way. Let's use that in a toxic way, completely connected to who they used to be. So in fact, they are worshiping in this shrine of their former selves, just like the person who got divorced a long time ago. Although they don't even speak to their ex, they are still worshiping the shrine of their ex. They're still so connected to them because all of the things they believe when they were married to that person is still their belief system. And they're still constantly being affected by that when actually none of that was real. None of that was true. And they needed to get a divorce. Or the person who is still completely connected to their former self. It's like they've changed. That person's gone. They're better now. They're more connected now. They've changed, but they have this tie, this connection to that old former self, and they can't quite move on in their lives. We also do this as well in our minds. So I have people, I had someone call me one time like, I'm married, but there is someone at work and we are just so like, there is just something between us that's so powerful. And I just I want to be with them, but so I'm cheating. This is because this is a past life connection, right? And I can't escape that. Or this is because we are twin flames and soulmates, so nothing else will matter because I need to be with that person. And it's like, no, you're creating something toxic there, right? Listen, if you want to cheat or go outside your marriage or whatever, I would just recommend maybe telling your spouse that you don't want to be with them anymore. You know what I mean? Just deal with your shit and then go be with that person instead of lie, because that's not going to feel good in the end, right? Listen, I don't judge anything. Everyone has different situations. Believe me, if anyone knows that people have all different situations, it's me, because I talk to thousands of people all the time, intimately, right? So listen, I get it. But point of this podcast is saying that we can create these toxic things saying oh no, everything I'm doing, I get absolved because we are technically, we're spiritually connected. And it's well, that's toxic because it's making you do things in your life that you wouldn't normally do, or maybe, make you feel ashamed. So there's all kinds of ways we can put these toxic threads. And when I say toxic connection, I think of a cord. I think of a cord that is like connected to you, and then it's connected to that person, place, thing, feeling, past, whatever it may be. I think of it like a cord connecting you to. And while you sometimes think, well, I'm divorced from that person, so there's nothing from me, it's like, no, there is, because you're pumping energy into that cord. And even if they're not, so you're the one keeping the toxic connection going. Does this make sense? If you think about the thing that is very toxic for you and you think about this cord, it's like, if you're still thinking about it, if you're still in effect of that thing, you're still pumping life into it. You're keeping that cord connected to yourself. They may be done with you. They may not even think about you. You never talk to them. They don't even think about you, but you're still being affected by them because you're pumping the energy in that cord that connects you guys. Visualize two people standing in front of each other and picture a cord between you two. It's like someone's pumping energy into that because you're still connected. And that's what I mean by the person at work that was cheating. It's like, they are creating this cord, trying to use spiritual things to make this cord connected to justify what they're doing. So it's very toxic, like, oh, it's a past life connection. It's a twin flame connection. It's like, cool, that may be. And if that is, then you'll probably end up being together, but you should probably clean up whatever's going on in your life so that you can have like a clean relationship, right? That can turn very toxic very fast. And I think also to think about, like I was saying, people, things in the past. I mean, I do that all the time in my life where I think about certain things and then I think about things I've done in my past, like when I was young and just moronic, you know what I mean? Like so dumb. I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I treat myself like that? Not as much to other people, but like, why did I treat myself like that? Gosh. And then I reignite that toxic energy thinking about her instead of maybe cutting that toxic energy and just going back to her in my mind saying like, girl, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Just go home, watch Friends, and just put your feet up and relax. You don't need to be out here just going wild or whatever I was doing, right? So we can create, we can aggravate, we can activate, we can keep the energy, and we can really create these very, very toxic things with people. So my guides, and I hope this is making sense, and I hope you can apply this maybe to something in your life. I mean, I even do it with food. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have very toxic or complicated relationships with food that we keep, feeding, no pun intended. And it's like this toxic pump of energy every time we think about certain things with food. Or maybe we do it with a house. We have this horrible toxic connection to this house and we can't stop thinking about it. And we're, constantly reigniting that. And it's like, we already sold that house. It's done. So the reason why I'm doing this in a cord way, or, a cord or a rope or whatever is connecting you to that thing, even something from the past, I before I go on, I just want to say also really quick is like, sometimes I see with people that maybe have been out of a relationship, they believed something in the relationship. So like they believed, I'll make something up, they were unlovable. And that relationship that they were in really like was like this huge thing for them. Like the person was always saying like, you're unlovable, like you do this, you do that, like you're very hard to love, like other people aren't going to love you, you're very unlovable. And that person may go on and they're like dying to find love. They want to find love. They've gotten a divorce or they broke up with that person and they want to find love so badly. But that idea that they're unlovable is still there. So you can have a toxic cord connecting you to a thought or an idea as well. It doesn't just have to be like something, adamant, right? Not adamant, inanimate. Oh God, you guys, my poor parents, they spent so much money on my schooling and I'm still fucking up my words. Sorry, mom and dad. I really am. I'm sorry. Anyway, so that's something that comes up a lot in readings, and my guides have given me tools to help people release these, right? So, but it's powerful. I'll never forget, I was with my best friend, Priya, and we were talking about this thing called a puja. A puja is like a ceremony that you do in Hindi. And you can work with Lord Ganesh. And that's one of their gods. If you guys have seen it, it's like a man with an elephant face. And I'm extremely connected to him. And something that Priya had told me is that working with him, he removes obstacles. But if you go to him to remove an obstacle of your life or to surrender something to him, you better be ready to surrender. You can't go in with him and be like, here, take this. Oh, no, wait, don't. Right? You have to be ready to give him what you're ready to surrender. So it's just an interesting tidbit. I never forgot that. And it's interesting because the way that I work with this is like, if you truly want to cut that cord, that tie, you truly want to break up from that thought, person, place, thing, whatever it is, be ready, because this works. So you have to be ready for it. And you have to be ready to truly, truly cut that tie and move on. Okay, you ready? So here's what you would do. You would look at the thing in an honest way that you're ready to cut ties with, really. And really look at it honestly. Listen, I work with so many people, you guys, and it's like, okay, wow, you're still really connected to your ex. It's like, no, I'm not. Okay, well, this and this and this from your guides. And they also said this and this and this. And that's all from that ex relationship. No, I don't even think about him anymore. Nope. It's like, okay, let's move on to the next message. You know what I mean? It's like, if you really look at it, what are you still, what are you still courting? That's, you guys, should I copyright that? Courting. Like not courting, but like cord, CORD, courting. I'm still courting with that relationship. I'm still courting. I still got my cords connected. Okay. I think let's copyright that. Let's copyright God Spark. Are there any copyright lawyers that listen to me? I've derailed. Let's rein it in here. Let's rein it in. Okay. So what you want to do is get real and get honest of what you really want to let go of, and what you're ready to detach from. I know for me, it would definitely, there's a couple belief systems that I still rear their ugly head for me from my past or from my childhood. And I know I am the only one keeping them going. So I have a cord that connects me to those past thoughts that no longer serve me, and I'm the only one keeping it. So that would be something I would think about, this issue, this thing. I would think about that, and then I would work with this exercise to really detach from it. Listen, when you work on something and you work on something and you work on something and you work on something, you go to therapy about something and you do spiritual stuff on something and you keep going and it's still there, sometimes you need to do some ceremonies or some really clear, focused exercises to really move it out and move on. So the way that you would do this is, like I said, get real and really pull up the thing that you're ready to cut ties with. This could be a person. This could be a belief system, a thought, a thing, right? Anything you want. And what you're going to do is go somewhere quiet and sit down. Take some deep breaths. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And the idea when you sit down to do an internal exercise like this, working with your own God spark and your own system and your own intuition and your own guides, right? You want to sit up, right? So I wouldn't recommend like laying in a super mushy couch. You want to be aware. You want to be alert. You're not going to sleep, right? So sit up, sit in a chair, put your feet on the ground. And you're going to sit tall, like sit with your spine elongated. It shouldn't hurt, but just sit up. And when you sit up, I also want you to think of yourself grounding down. So your feet are firmly planted on the ground. Your spine is long. And then you're going to breathe in through the nose. When you breathe in through your nose, guys, fill up your body. Our breathing is so shallow. Fill your body, front body, back body, all four corners of your lungs. Fill up your body with air. And then when you exhale, Blow it out of your mouth all the way. Empty the air. Let go. Drop your shoulders. Relax your face. Ground down into the body. And you're going to do that a couple times. And then let your breath go normal, passive, And then you're going to, in your mind, or you can say it out loud, I'm calling to my angels and my spirit guides, my ancestors, my higher self, universe, God, whatever you guys feel called to call to. Ask them to come and support you in this beautiful ceremony. Ask that they walk with you in this one so they can help you and they know your heart. They know what you're doing. And with your eyes closed, I want you to picture in front of you the thing that you know and you've identified you have a toxic cord energy connection to. Even if it's something you don't want to admit or that's very old, it's okay. No judgment. Be nice to yourself. Be kind to yourself. You're here to learn. You're not perfect. And I want you to imagine that you're standing in front of each other. So let's use a person, toxic X, right? Maybe they're not toxic, but maybe the connection is, right? And in your mind's eye, you're going to imagine them. If it's a thing, imagine the thing. If it's ideas about yourself, maybe you imagine yourself when you created those ideas, or maybe it's thoughts about yourself and you imagine these thoughts are written on a blackboard and you stand in front of the blackboard, whatever it may be. Whatever works for you. And you're going to stand and you're going to look at this person or thing. I'm using a person right now, even if the person is you, right, in the past. You're going to look at them, look them right in the eye. You've got your guides, you've got your angels. And then I want you to look down and I want you to see a cord. It can be a golden cord, a purple cord, a red cord, a rope cord, whatever. That's gently attached to you, right? It's not with hooks, guys. It can just be laying kind of on top of your stomach or whatever. It's just a connector. And I want you to imagine it. I want you to see that cord running between you and the other person or thing. Again, it's not embedded. It's not hooked in. Just it's an energetic cord between you two. And I want you to look at the person or thing. And I want you to say, I forgive you. Our time in this life is complete. Our karma is complete. Our lessons are complete. Our journey is complete. This connection no longer serves me. I mean you no harm, but this connection is over. And I want you to pick up some scissors and cut the cord. Cut it. Watch it fall. Falls away from you completely, falls away from them completely. Look at them and say, I mean you no harm. I ask you to go for good. This is over. And then I want you to imagine yourself turning your back to them and walking away. Walk away. It is unbelievable how much when you access that intuitive voice and the power within you, because we know we've got God's spark in us, when you access that and you set a clear intention to cut a toxic connector, how amazing it is how much that can affect your current life. How amazing, how empowering it feels to know that is my decision. I forgave that. That is done. That is clipped and cut. I'm turning around. I'm leaving that. It is a powerful exercise. It's a powerful feeling. And it is an exercise, I will say, you may have to do every single day. Now, have I worked with some people? They've done it once and they're like, oh, shit, that was amazing. I feel so different. I'm ready to walk forward and meet my person, or I'm ready to, do something new in my life because I no longer believe that shit about myself from the past, whatever it may be. It works. And it can work really, really, really quickly, Or you may have to do it a couple times a week for a year. I don't know. Everyone is so unique and different. But do not second guess the power of your mind, your intentions. When you reveal something like that, you reveal this toxic cord, that's how you can heal something. You have to reveal it to heal it. Take charge of whatever it is. Take ownership. You may have been keeping that toxic connection going. It may be you that's feeding that cord, not them. You probably don't even talk to them anymore. It's you that's keeping it. Are you ready to take your power back? Are you ready to forgive? Are you ready to take control? Cut the cord. It really, really works. Is this making sense? Are you guys feeling me? Do you guys like that I said earlier, put that in your pipe and smoke it? How was that for you? Was that good? I just really, really wanted you guys to have this. It's a tool and it's a powerful exercise. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's one that will really, really serve you. It's especially painful. You know, I have a quote that I want to share with you guys. I love this quote. It's just so right on for me. It's actually Uma Thurman said it. And the quote is, "I still love the people I've loved, even if I cross the street to avoid them." Isn't that so good? It's like, yeah, I may still love you, but I have nothing for you. I will cross the street. I will pretend I don't see you. You know what I mean? Because it's done. And keeping it going or chatting or reigniting is just feeding that toxic cord. It doesn't mean that if you cut a toxic cord, you have no memory of the person ever again. Like, it's not about that. It's about those triggers, those pumps of energy. Still, you know, that woman that I spoke to that I said, like, you just got divorced. It's like that pump of anxiety, that pump of connection, of energy in regards to that person was just still so there. There's a way to, remember those things without having that trigger or that pump of energy, Happens to me though. Sometimes I see certain things. I get this, like, you get that kind of ooh in your stomach, it's like, wow, gosh, I am still connected to that, like on a deep emotional level. Jeez, I got to work on that one. I got to work on about like a million things. But so it's just something to think about. If you're struggling with a breakup or something like that. I mean, I've worked with people that we did this with a breakup and they're bawling their eyes out. It's hard. Really sad to have to let that person go, but they knew it was the right thing to do, even if it was sad, and they were ready to let them go. So, things like this, I think sometimes we hear tools like this or thoughts like this, and we're like, so I can't be sad over a breakup, or I can't, feel things, or of course not. This is the idea that a toxic cord is negatively affecting your current life and your ability to move forward in a healthy way due to whatever the cord that you're connected to. So it's identifying those and then cutting those. And for me, sometimes it is a lot of beliefs about myself that I work on. Try it. I'm really, really eager to see what you guys think and what if this works for you. I have seen it do tremendous things. Listen, this is a specific visual. You can create your own visual. You don't have to use my guides and my visual, right? You can always go into your God Spark and ask, what is my visual for cutting toxic ties? But this is one I've used. This is one my guides gave to me. This works really, really well. I hope it serves you. You are worthy. You are deserving of freedom and joy and moving on. Remember, so many of these mistakes, quote unquote, are actually life lessons, not life sentences. You don't have to sentence your life to be in this toxic effect or connect to this thing. Life lessons, not life sentences. Reveal to heal. Take your power back. Forgive and cut that tie when you're ready. I am thinking of you all so much. I know who you are. So many of you write me. I think of you all so, so much when I set up to do these podcasts. You mean so much to me. Thank you for listening. Please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts. Follow me at Spiritual Medium Erica. DM me. I love you, love you, love you. I think of you often. Thank you very much for listening. And tune in next week because I'll have a whole new episode. God bless you all. Remember, you are not alone.